Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Or if you're brand new here, welcome. My name is Lindsay. I'm a fashion design student at the University of Cincinnati and I love sharing tips about sustainable fashion in my life. So in today's video, we're going to be doing a little natural dye bath tutorial using avocado pits and avocado skins. What I've been doing is whenever I've used up an avocado, I just rinse it off, clean off the skin as best I can. I've just been freezing it and throwing it in a Tupperware in my freezer. So once my Tupperware container becomes full, I've just been getting a dye bath prepared and kind of practicing doing a couple methods before I made this video. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Here's a quick look at the sweatshirt I decided I wanted to dye for today's video. It had a little stain on the shoulder, so it actually ended up working out perfect to use this. The sweatshirt was bought secondhand off Depop, of course, and I actually have some matching white sweatpants I'm planning on using for a future natural dye video. I'm also going to be using a little loose tie-dye effect for this video just to get a little more texture. For this tutorial, you're only going to need a few things for this simple dye bath. All you need is something to stir, a large pot, a natural fiber like cotton or linen, and then your avocados. I store my avocados in the freezer, so basically after using them, I just clean them off as best as I can and then save them for future use when I finally have enough for a dye bath. Our first step is to fill our pot of water about 3/4 of the way full. With natural dye baths, I found it always works best to just eyeball this step. Next, we're going to turn the heat to high and begin to soak our avocado. It's good to remember that natural dye bath results will vary every time based on a number of uncontrollable outside variables. For example, even the water used, so hard water, which is full of minerals like calcium, magnesium, can make colors way brighter, more vibrant, while softer water produces more muted tones. And then plant-based fibers like cotton and linen will typically mellow out your dye, while animal fibers like wool or silk will give you richer hues. Now that our dye bath is starting, you're going to want to soak your garment in warm water so that the dye will bond better to the fiber. If you really want, however, you can throw this in the washing machine and let it soak 24 hours before the dye bath if you're really interested in getting the best results possible with this one, but I'm lazy and so I just soaked this right before. As you can see, it's only been about 5 minutes and our color is developing into a nice little golden hue. Something interesting about avocados when using them for a natural dye bath is that you actually don't need a mordant to set the dye, and basically a mordant is a plant or metal-based fixatives used to have the fiber extend the color and the ability for it to be washed. So avocados have this milky tannin-rich liquid that blooms this red ink when it's simmered in water, and that's what you're seeing right here. So we're getting a nice marooned color that will eventually dye our garment into a beautiful pink tone. Once the dye bath finally gets to a boil, we're just going to turn our heat from high down to low, and we're going to set a timer for about 40 minutes. After that 40-minute period, we're going to turn the heat off and just allow the dye to sit. After our timer goes off, we're going to scoop out all the skins and avocado pits that we can find in our pot. It's okay if a few get left behind, but honestly, feel free to use a strainer if that bothers you at all. But I mean, in the end, we rinse it all off and it comes out anyway, so don't worry about it. Just do whatever is easiest for you. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I wanted to try out doing a more textured dye look to the sweatshirt, so I did a loose twist using my hands and tied it off with some hair elastics. At the end of this video, I'll also show you guys a t-shirt I dyed using avocado pits with a bit of a tighter twist. There's a lot more white spaces and a way more distinct spiral, which I really wanted to minimize with this attempt as I wanted just, a more concise color. Because the dye bath is still really warm, we're just going to gently place our garment in the pot. As you can see, I underestimated how big a men's extra large sweatshirt would be, but I tried my best to fully soak it before allowing the garment to soak overnight. The longer the fabric soaks, the more vibrant the color will be, so I left it in here for about 24 hours, flipping the sweatshirt occasionally. The next morning, I gently took off the hair ties holding the sweatshirt together and left it to air dry for a few hours in my bathroom before throwing it in my dryer on high heat. This will help to set the color more permanent and make the dye last longer. However, just as synthetic dyes fade, so will natural ones. So to make sure this will last as long as possible and stay in great condition, just make sure to wash it by hand using cold water. Finally, here's our finished sweatshirt. I'm so happy with how it turned out, especially for how simple this process is. Natural dyeing is a perfect way to use food waste as well as create more relationship with our clothes. Also, here is the t-shirt that I mentioned earlier in the video. I dyed it for way less time and a tighter knot. If you guys are interested in seeing more videos like this, please let me know in the comment section below. Or if you end up trying this method out, I would love to see how yours went. Happy avocado eating, and I'll see you again next week.